Good evening, everyone. I am Rajiv Singaroy, PR and Outreach Coordinator of Sourcify. Today, we have Mr. Manjunath with us, Principal AI Engineer at MSG Global. The topic for today revolves around AI/ML, how it's growing, why it's becoming such a powerful force, and what opportunity it opens for us developers. You will get a sense of how AI/ML is shaping industries today and what skills can help you be a part of that future. Let's dive in. Please welcome, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit, for warm welcome. So, without further ado, let me share my screen and start the session. Let me share my entire screen. Let me know if it is visible. Let me minimize this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So let's me. Yeah. Okay. So now today we are going to teach about what the first. I'll also share my journey also. Now how we can AI and ML power you for the future and forever if you are a student. Since you are all a student, how it help you your AI to quickly ramp up the things. Any difficult topics also I will going to show you with a live demo also, and also how we can utilize this for the interview. If you are the in the fifth sem or seventh sem, if you are still a student, I will also show you how it will help you to quickly ramp up for the interview and be prepared. And and also don't have to pay any cost. I will show you everything. Don't have to pay any cost. Don't pay for the any course with free of the how you can learn master the AI and ML. Not only master the AI and Gen AI, and also you can master your completely your what you're working or you're studying on. Okay, let me earlier introduce him already, so I don't have to introduce again. With that, I just want to add few more things. I do have a patent, actually, in Gen AI. 3 years back, I got on patent. Let me hide this screen one second. Yeah, okay. Oh, it finally went completely went right. Okay, yes. So I do have a one patent and also a speaker. I usually speak in Microsoft, AWS, and Google community events every Saturday or whenever I get that time. It's an in-person event in Bangalore. And also I do have a Medium blog where what are the latest technology happening. I try to give step by step with code how to do the setup, how to do the setup and how to install it and make it work. Currently, since agentic AI is what making a lot of noise. So any new thing Google or Amazon releases anything, I'll just experiment on my laptop and deploy it and then also share in my Medium blog. I'll share all the link. This is my LinkedIn ID. I also will share at the end. There I have the Medium blog links and all the stuff. So my expertise on AI solution recently, but earlier I was working on cloud and microservices. Around 21 of years experience in software engineering. Recently, 4 years back, I moved into AI. So that's about a brief introduction to me. So what we'll have agenda today is I'll briefly chat upon at a very high level what is machine learning and deep learning. You might be knowing it, but the people who are new to it also I'll want to introduce what's machine learning and deep learning. Very, very simple, very high level comes, anybody can understand. Even if you're not in AI/ML background or any not computer background, non-technical also, I'll just show you very easily. But my slides will go more on pictures. I don't usually type long text and bore you with the theory, and also allow learn. Usually, one picture usually the one picture is more than 1,000 words, right? So similarly, I have a lot of pictures. I will show you in the so you'll understand and grab the concept. Once that is, then I will introduce about generative AI is about and actually how it works. See, you have to understand how actually works. You have used ChatGPT. I know everybody was in ChatGPT. Everybody was in Gemini and all the stuff. But you should know behind the scene a basic how it works. It's like you're driving a car. You don't need to learn how engine works, how it do so depth, but at least you need to understand how the gears and everything will works, how the manual transmission will works. If you understand basic, then you can drive the car very smoothly. Correct? If you're running a basic, I know, okay, first gear, second, I just go. No, it won't work that way. You at least understand the basic, how the clutch, how the gear mechanism works, at which gear, at which kilometer, what to choose. Not just theory, at behind the scenes, if you understand the basics, you will understand exactly how to do it effectively. That is exactly what I'm going to teach you. Not completely on more mathematical part, a basic things required to get the better result out of ChatGPT. You might see many hallucinated thing, but I'm going to teach you how we can effectively prompt it. We call it as prompt engineering. You can follow along so that it won't be hallucinate much. And then I will share the resource to continue your journey. And I'll quickly share about just on 2 minutes about my journey, around 20 years, a short 2 3 years, how we are able to get to the AI, so that will probably will get motivate you, and also will share the tips at the end. Some of the tips you need to consider to break any startups or any enterprise you are looking for, any MNC company you want to target, either Amazon or Google or okay, middle level. I will share all the tips for you that you can follow. So this is the brief agenda. Then we'll open up some question answer if we have. I also, you can stop me in the between if you have any question. Feel free to, if you have any doubt, just stop me in between. There is not an issue. You don't have to wait till end. Just you can interrupt me in between. I'm open to any of the questions in between. So with that, we'll start with the machine learning then. So you all would have been right either Python or C or C++. Any language would have been done. So you know how we code in traditionally. So you write the code, you compile it. In case of Python, you interrupt it and you get the answer. This typically what we'll follow, right? Which that what we actually we code, we give the rules. Let's take simple example. It is a currency is there, but let me take another segment. I want to write a program to add two numbers. Very simple program, very basic. So what you will do? You will just add the rules. Rules is what? A plus B. Correct? The data is what the user whatever going to given. 2 or 3, let's say 2 and 3 example. So you have rules, you have the data. When you do the coding, you do compile it or interrupt it, you will get the answer, right? 2 plus this 5. 5 you get the answer. This is where typically we code. This is called traditional coding. We call this as traditional coding. This works very well for banking or any stuff, what you're using, anything, it works very, very well. For all the traditional thing, current what you are seeing, like for if you want to book a movie, for example, in Book My Show, if you want to book a movie, we'll have a rules is written very clearly where when you book the ticket, it goes to the credit card, it has to block the seat. All are written by the rules based. We have the data. Data is nothing but whatever you have selected the seat, your name, your credit card or banking account number. Those are the data. You'll get the answer. That is what a simple traditional programming what we call. Now my question is, why do you need a machine learning? Let's understand this now. If you see the traditional above and machine, there's something only few only just swapped. I only swapped two things. So input earlier was rules and data, and output was answer. But in machine learning, if you see, I simply swapped. I answer and the data as given the input. I am getting something called a model. We call it a model that consists of pattern and rules. So we won't get any answer here. In the machine learning, we put the data, we give the answer. Like you get the question, you give the answer, and ultimately you get something called a model. We call it as a model that has a patterns and rules. So let's understand this now. If you previously I told about the addition programming. Now, if you want to do that, if you want a computer to figure out whether you're doing addition or subtraction, you feed the data. Data like what? Input and output, like 2 and 3, and also give the answer. So 2, 3, you give 5. Then you give data x and value 1, 1 and give the value answer. Like that, you collect around 500 or 1000 of set of question answers of pairs and feed it. You'll something got a pattern. Then using that, you no need to do the now what is happening here, it is identifying the functional algorithm what you added. Earlier your rules was a plus b. Now it automatically identify the rules based on, it learns based on your data distribution. So then you can give not seen data, like for example, if you're not trained 6 and 7 in data, assume that 6 and 7 is not given as a training. Training is nothing but the data and answer you have given. If you give 6 and 7, it's able to get the answer. So that is the machine learning. That is simple sum. That's the what a machine learning. You can try it out having the simple addition thing. It will definitely work. There are so many other concepts like overfitting and so many. Okay, I don't know to discuss on that. But at high level, the data we have a data, we answer, and then we get the pattern rules. Now you might have a question. Why do you need this? I know the addition. I can do it. Yes, you can do it. If it is a know the formula, if you know it is critical, you have to go with the traditional programming. Now, where we don't know the pattern is that simple is weather example. I cannot find there is no formula for weather. I cannot find out what is the function for a weather. It's very complex. So what I will do, I will take 5-10 years old data pattern with every day, every hours, what's the temperature, every minute, what's the temperature, whether it's raining or not raining, all the feed you the data, I'll get the model. Based on the model, I can predict the rain. It's very simple. As of now, in Bangalore, temperature shows me cloudy. What I when I see in my, I'm just checking out the current condition. This is the ML model actually running here. This is why we need a ML. He's telling Monday it will be sunny, completely sun. That is why predicting. But tomorrow, today, and Sunday, it shows me completely cloudy, no sun, and minimum is 17 and maximum 26 degree. So how it is predicting? Because of the machine learning. That we don't have a formula. We do not have any formula for that. That is the machine learning. So that is where we have to apply machine learning for those cases. For rest, if you know really what the formula, use the traditional coding. Okay, that's about the machine learning, the first one. We need to understand this if you want to use generative AI. That is the reason I'm taking the basic part. I hope this is clear. Now, coming to that machine, we have three types of the way. We have supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised. Let's understand one by one. Only with pictures, we'll understand better. Name itself is suggest. Let's understand this very simple. Supervise is very straightforward. Take the same example what previously for the what I talk about the weather. We label it everything. So for example, here in the left side, if you see, I have the different pictures of dogs. I just labeled it. I'm labeling it. Training is nothing but you feeding the data to the computer that will understand that will output. I told you right to get the model. So that is a supervise. Why that? Why super? Because I'm labeling it. I'm supervising it. I'm telling this is the dog, and everything. Then if you give the model to unknown dog, you take a photo of a something dog, street dog, which is not been your training data, it will able to predict. It may not be 100% right. It will predict 90% or 85% it's a dog. Remember, in the machine learning, in any machine learning thing, your output may not, it's a probability. It's like based on the probability only. It's not like 100%. It might, even if you have cat, it might also might show us dog also, or it might predict 30% of dog for a cat. That is fine. So based on how you train the data, how you the machine you train, how much data you have, the more number of data you feed, it will get a better prediction. That's the whole idea. Just you train with 3 4 dogs and try to have some other dog picture not been seen, it may not predict properly. So that is the whole idea. This is why we can teach the machine, but nobody can know what inside the model. Okay, this is about supervised. Next time is unsupervised learning. So every time we don't know what the data label it is, we don't know. So this is where we'll do something called classify. We'll make it as a grouping based on the pictures. If you see, there's a cat, is there, dog, and rabbits. But machine doesn't know what is a rabbit and everything. It's not been labeled. So basically, if you feed this, it can group the different groups. Say dog is separate, cats are separate, and rabbits are separate. Correct? So with this, you can now we can label and put a separate classification. So this is we call unsupervised because we're not telling the initially which is dog, which is cat, and everything. We're just doing a classification actually. This is another type of the machine learning algorithm. I'm not going to teach each anything, but I'll give the pointer. But understand the overall of the picture. What is unsupervised learning is. So we have a supervised, we have the label, we get the output, and we have the unsupervised, we get the prediction. Now coming to the semi-supervised, name suggests is a mix of that. It's a mix of that. Now if you ask for generative AI, what is generative AI? It's a self-supervised learning actually. We call it self. That means it automatically point the label because that is trained with the entire internet data. Complete internet data has been trained, so it automatically figures the label actually. That is called self-supervised learning. That's called generative AI. What we ChatGPT works on. So this is something semi-supervised we do have where we label few of them will not be labeled. Then it will able to detect that. Able model can be detected is a rabbit. Okay, this is about the semi-supervised. So generative AI is self-supervised. It automatically labels the data. That means it automatically labels. Why it able to label automatically? Because the data is so massive that entire internet data will be taken care. Entire Wikipedia, entire Reddit articles, all those been trained in the data. That is the reason it's able to label itself. Okay, that is about the very high level of the machine learning. Now coming to the second part now. We have something also called deep learning, where sometimes like see the image for the image dog, right? I can do it by traditional machine learning, but it's very difficult to identify the coordinates and all those stuff to x and y axis to a lot of mathematical stat. Is both a statics model, so very difficult for me to train with this with images and everything. It's very difficult. The color, the gradient, it's very difficult. That is where we have something came called deep learning, which made just like a mimic our human brain, how our neurons work. So they're trying to mimic that makes the complexity less, where each node or each neuron will capture a small amount of features. Features means suppose if you have a cat, the cat could have been like the ears or something, or the color or the structure will be each neuron will capture different thing. So ultimately the end neuron are able to predict what is that actually. So this is the easiest way. We can still do it in machine learning, but that is for a picture, for images and videos. That's not a good use cases to do it. We need a lot of effort. So hence, means we have something next evolution happened called deep learning. Your generative AI is based on the deep learning network. You have heard about transformer, but those are some part of the transformer block, and we do have a feed forward network. There is nothing but a neural network actually. So we do have a neural network in place. We don't have any traditional ML in the generative AI. So that can be used for again same supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, also self for a generative AI. The same applies here. But I'm not going to in depth of the deep learning everything. I'm just giving a very high level. I'm going to share the resources where you can learn, understand in depth. I'm just giving a very high overview. So this is about the deep learning part. Now, if you divide this different what is AI is, what is nothing but AI? AI is a very vast. It defines very vast robotics and all this come under the AI. In turn, what I spoke first is I think machine learning, which already one type of AI, which I shown in the beginning of the slide, and deep learning is again is a subset of that. And generative AI is a subset of again here. If I that, I have not written purposely because I don't want to show you. So if you say generative AI comes, it's a subset of this. It comes here. Subset of this is generative AI. So this artificial is very broad, very broad. Ultimately, it is more advanced. You need CPUs and GPUs to run and train the entire thing. So this is a very big topic. So we are only considered currently the making a lot of noise. Everybody is using this what LLM. That's called large language model. Is on generative AI is part of the deep learning. Okay, this is about very high level. It looks now. Coming to the generative AI, this is the part very important. I want to make you aware how to use it. Now we'll show the practical also how to use. We'll do the prompt engineering everything. Let's understand how generative AI. Little bit I'll take little bit 2-3 step to the depth, so you understand better how this works. Then you can understand. Let's be what is generative AI. Then we can give them there are multiple way we can tell what is generative AI. But simple thing, just imagine a child. Let's take any one of the child. If you ask him to read books, lot of reading the books, right? Over after if he reading 10 to 30, 40 books, right? Then by studying all this book, he can become an author. Anybody can become the author. Why? Because he's studying so many large amount of novels or books he read the stories. He can come up with the own story. Correct? It can come with the own story. Maybe piece from this text, theme from this text, anything. After 20, he can combine and make it a one single book. So that's how the generative AI is actually. Here they trained the entire internet. So he knows the grammar, he knows the sentence. It has read lot of poem. That's why if you go to ChatGPT, if you just ask him, write a poem on the cat or something dog, it's able to generate. Oh, no, it won't from the memory. It's not recalling from memory. It's actually generating with their own its own imagination. Why? Oh, because we trained the entire internet. That's why it's like a creative. That's what we call creative. In other simple thing, if you have watched too many movies, say if you have watched around 100, 200 movies, you can come up, you can write your own script, right? You can write your own script. Why you can able to write a script? Because you can take the pieces of all together, you can get idea. Okay, this is how the stories, the action movie goes like this, the comedy movie goes like this. Then you can come up with your own script. Exactly is what generative in simple terms. Why? Because data is very huge, is unimaginable. That's why it take 3 months, 6 months to train ChatGPT with lot of GPUs. Why? Because it has go through the entire internet, an entire collection of Reddit, Stack Overflow, so whatever in GitHub repo, whatever you have the internet open, everything has been trained. So that's why they're able to generate a code for you. That's about generative AI, at a level. That's coming to one step below. Now we call as a foundation. Earlier we call as a ML models. Those are statistical models, ML. In deep learning also we call as a models, right? Here we call as a foundation model. The term has a little bit changed. Why? Because the data is so huge. It has text, it has image, it has speech, it has unstructured data. Unstructured is nothing but your PDF documents. Structure is nothing but a table, rows and columns. We have Excel sheet. Those are we call as a structured data. And this is the unstructured data, and we have spatial data, which has the 3D x and y axis and those of things. So we call it spatial data. So entire data internet has been tried. That's why we call it a foundation model, and it's very, very, very huge. ChatGPT 4 is 1 trillion parameter. We'll tell about what the parameter is. Why? Because of that, it can do multiple tasks. On the right hand side, you can see your ChatGPT can do so many things, right? You can do code, you can generate a code for you, it can answer the question answer, do the word completion, it can do image caption. So many things can be done. Why? Because it can be trained in such a vast data. So this is about the generative AI. The model is trained in this way. It's not unlike ML, unlike DL, it's entirely different. Each ML is only for one weather data. If ML is for weather, it does only weather data, nothing else. It can't do image recognition, nothing. It can't do. But this does a multiple task. Why? Because very simple. We just like a human being, we can do multiple tasks. It has been trained to the entire internet. It can do anything actually. So this is the basic at the very high level how the foundation model works. What is meant by foundation model? Your Llama, your GTP0, Gemini, these are all foundation model. Okay, that's coming to this next. So let's see how it works. This is very, very important to understand. With this, we can able to well understand. With this, you are able to effectively work on your ChatGPT and everything prompt way better. Just like how you can drive the car. Let's understand the semantics now. See, as I told, generative is just a joint public distribution means it's able to generate a new data. That's what I'm reading is by learn pattern. See, it based on how it learned, it able to understand. We're not labeling anything. I think it's able to by seeing the how the distributed probability, each word, each sentence, it find the probability and able to generate the text. See, if you in ChatGPT, if you try to ask the question, it won't. I don't know the answer usually, but now it has made me powerful because we are grounding it to the internet search and also. But earlier, if you go to the older version, it will try to, as we call as try to cook up the story. Even if it doesn't know the answer, it try to give the answer. Why? Because it try to generate. It won't think. If you it not now it made more agentic everything they made better now. So most of the models will not elicit much, but it try to cook up the story. We cannot always believe on the AI because there are probabilities. Again, their probabilities is not 100%. You should not trust the output of the AI completely unless there is a proper grounding, which I'll show you in the demo shortly. I'll show that actually while in the practical what I meant to them. The earlier one, right, we call discriminative because it has a boundary. We have a class to develop. We have already labeled it. If it's for example, if I train only for cat and dog, the model can only say cat and dog, no other else. It can't predict any other thing because that is called discriminative. The previous one, DL, ML, what we call this all discriminative. Here we call generative because it will generate a new content. But earlier model will never going to generate a single content. It just say the weather to the rain or not. Today is raining or the weather. Just will predict the value. It just selects based on the parameter what we defined. That's it. Output can be single or multiple instances. But that's what we're able to label the data. That is how it is discriminative. Let's go to the next one. This is very, very important to understand. If you understand this, then we can understand exactly what is going on at the back end. So you all prompted in ChatGPT, correct? We all chatted in ChatGPT asking what is the capital of Delhi, which is the capital of India. We had a start, but actually exactly what happens here? It actually converts into tokens. I will show you what is the tokens with demo. We convert into tokens because it won't understand, the model won't understand the English language. So it will convert it into tokens. Tokens get split and then goes to the model. Then the model will again give output in the tokens only, not in English. Then we'll convert English back, so tokens back to the language, whichever language you have. Because a multi-language that you can put it in Hindi, you can put it in Kannada, any language, Tamil or English, any language it will work, Chinese it will work. Why? Because it's able to understand, been trained across the model, across the language. Then you'll get back in response. So this is how internally it will work. It's not like you prompt in English, it go to the English back and no. This ultimately the model will understand on 0 and 1, only numbers, nothing else. So all your models it doesn't know what is English, it doesn't know any language. Hence it has to understand only tokens here in this case. So let's see what the token is. Then you'll understand. So this is GTP3 example. So one token is just approximately 4 characters in English, only 4 characters, like CHAR, approximately. So 100 tokens means 75 words. and 1500 means is 2k tokens. The reason why this is important, because in ChatGPT it will says that how many tokens is consumed. If you go to Gemini, also it will show token, because it will cost you. Because since you're using ChatGPT, it may not cost you. But if you connect with API OpenAI key, right, they will be charged for 1 million tokens, input token and output token. It will be charged. So that's why you need to understand what is the token. Now, with this, you can understand. So one page image, how many token? So one PDF, how much tokens it will take. So this is the simple analogy. So just make 2k tokens is nothing but approximately 1500 English words actually. So this is how the API will actually use the token. This is how they will charge you, because all these tokens need GPU cost. Your power GPU, it needs to calculate to predict the next word. So this is the very high level. If you want to try out, I will show that actually. So just I will show in the demo. So I just say welcome to unleash the Fizza power surge of AI and ML. I just added in that tool and it able to tell me I have 69 character here, only 17 tokens, and it give the numbers here. All the numbers here. We'll tell you what is the number it is. Is give me the number. So welcome goes to 170. Let's understand that. Let's go to the next one. How it has been tokenized here. So same thing here. I have a token numbers actually. Here actually how it is got split. So welcome is one token. Space and 2 is one token. Space and N is L is separate. Hashing is one token. See that how it divide depend upon the person who actually developed this model. So this is called vocabulary. So if you are defining vocabulary, they are in such a way that LE has made us one common token. So if you see 1, 2, 3, fourth value, the fourth 1, 2, 3, 4 number is 282. That means assume it's an index. Yeah, I have an index. If you go to the 282, I will get LE. I will get LE. Let me see any of the repeated here. ML, I think the no word is repeated, but you can play around with. Try to repeat 2 or 3 words, it exactly will get the same number. So this is the vocabulary. The number are nothing but this index. Assume it's an array. It's an index actually. 2077. So that is mapping to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So what is the 7th one? 5, 6, a future. So entire space and future has been mapped over there. So you can define your own. With this, we can define one how we want. Or we can define, say, and is separate, ML is separate, session is separate. So all these are going to split into a token of a vocabulary that for the LLM can understand. So this is how we indexed actually. So this is how the token works. So now I'm going to charge 17 token for this. If I input in API, somebody give the input token, they will charge 17 tokens. This plus any of the prompt. I'll show what the prompt actually prompt everything. Along with it, we'll put something called prompt actually. Prompt template is there. That template plus this will get charged. That's called input is calculated. So this is how it works. So all the welcome will be 1703. This I will show the tool. I will show the tool where you can play around and understand how exactly it works. I'll show that. Just finish 2 or 3 sets. Let me finish and I will show completely the demo. So this is how actually the token works. If once you prompt engineering, you need to tell exactly what you want. If you know the one basic prompt engineering, then you can get the better output. That is what the prompt engineering is given to AI. We will get a desired output. So let's see with example, you will understand here. See, the prompt engineering, this is one of there are multiple prompt engineering way for research, you'll get a lot of things, but this is the basic thing you need to give. If you give the basic, you get exactly the desired one. Here, I want writing a Python function. I'm asking a ChatGPT or any of the OpenAI models or any of the like Claude.ai. I just want to ask to write a function. If a simple write a Python function and then tell me that I need to get a weather calculation, it will give feels like and everything. If you only give this to assume input output indicator is not there. I just give write a Python function. The function is into weather application that calculates the feels like based on the humidity and actual temperature. If you give only this prompt, right, it does some assumption and try to give may not be exactly what you're looking for, what your expectation one. Sometimes it may exactly matches your one, but you try to give a different way because we are not prompting properly exactly what you want. Instead, if you give the instruction, this is the instruction, this is the context I'm giving. But if you give a sample input, like use the formula, feels like is equal to this, and dew point can be calculated from unity, if you give exactly what you're looking for. See, the AI is not in that way where replace completely humans. It can't do end-to-end software engineering or any job unless you have to give exactly instruction. It's just like a small baby still learning. It will does lot of mistake. But if you don't want a mistake, we have to give a proper prompt. Then it will be able to exactly what you want. So that is why you have to give the input directly. Then you may ask the question, it feels like this formula might be knowing may trained, but we don't know. It might be get a wrong data, it may not be trained properly. We don't know that exactly how it is trained. So better you explicitly certify exactly what is it like. Don't put the assumption that okay, LLM will know, I'll skip this. So you give the feels like what is the formula you are looking for, what exactly you want. Would you want in temperature in Celsius or temperature, and also you put the output what it exactly you want. The function should take two arguments. See, clearly telling what the function should take. Two arguments, temperature in Celsius, clearly. Otherwise, you'll try to make it Fahrenheit and try to assume something. You won't get expected answer. I'm clearly telling just like a feeding each and everything like a spoon feeding. I'm doing a spoon feeding exactly what I wanted. I want a Celsius and humidity in percentage. And written feels like temperature. Please include comments for clarity. When you prompt this, you'll get exactly the what you're exactly looking for. It won't hallucinate the this part. It won't hallucinate, it won't give the wrong formula. So that is a big problem. If you try to give only this two, it may not give the exact this formula. Try to hallucinate or give some other formula, but maybe learn from some other thing. You might get a wrong answer. So better you feed each and everything what you want, what input want, how the output looks like. Even you can feed some example we call as few shot learning. This is zero shot where I'm not giving an example. You can still feed in some of the hard code values like what is the if temperature is that input is I need output like this. So that is called few shot prompting. You call engineering, prompt engineering, few shot, one shot, two shot, three shot. If you give that, you will get exactly the output what you requested. So please try to do a prompt engineering next time. Give exactly the context, input, output indicator, instruction clearly. Then you'll expect a better answer. It won't hallucinate if you do this way. So with this, I want to give one important parameter to play. I don't want to go to everything. Two important critical parameter place to fine tune. Just like a car. Imagine I'm talking about the car earlier. So if you are in 20 kilometer, usually you will be in second gear, right? That's what. If you're in fourth gear, you'll be usually go with 40 and above. So exactly here, how to steer properly to get a more efficiently. So for this, you need to understand important called temperature. Temperature is very important. So rest you can ignore. I'll just talk about temperature, which is really important. Max tokens, everything we can just you can skip that one, but this is very important. So temperature. Why temperature is important? Because if you make it zero, if you make it a zero, by default it will always one or two. You go to any ChatGPT, always it will be in between a zero point 0.7 or zero point 0.6. So that is where it will actually try to do creativity. If it is zero, your creativity will be zero and you'll get exactly correct answer. So this is very important if you do something called RAG, which I will tell you what is that actually. So if you want exact answer, then always make it zero without fail. So it won't do any creativity. But if you want to write a script, if you want to do a poem, something like if you want to write a LinkedIn post, something more creative, make it improvement, then you set to one or two. Then you set to one or two. It will exactly do some add some creativity to it. Something. You can try to play around. After this session, go and play with the temperature. Somewhere it will be 0 or 1 or 0 or 2. Try to play and see the output how it differs. Okay, that is why. That's the temperature I wanted to important talk about here. So here make sure if you are doing any of assessment or if you would learn something, always set to zero. Always set to zero and try it out. And you'll get a more accurate answer because more focus. See, lower value, more focused. Higher value, more creativity. So based on your context, you change. So this one, so top it okay may not be not required as of now. So maximum tokens is nothing but how many output you want. If you see in ChatGPT, sometimes we'll try to give very big one page of input. If I ask for one question, it won't go me 1 mark or 2 mark answer. Sometimes it get 10 marks answer, which is not expected. To control that, either you can tell give me a shot in the prompt or In the tokens, right, there's a maximum tokens, you try to reduce it. By default, it will be 65K or 32K. Reduce to 1K or 2K, you'll get 1500 words. So that's how we can play around with actually. This is to limit the number of token. This will help you to cut the cost. If you are writing some API application, if you're writing to project, ensure you taken care maximum tokens. Very, very important. Take care of maximum tokens. Others will cost a lot. If you make it 2K, no, it won't go to 2K. The LLM ensures that it will within the output should be within the 2K token. You can calculate the how much what it might cost you once you're trying the project. If you go to 65K, if the output tries to keep on going, you will be paying a lot of money. So this is very, very, very important, maximum tokens. So rest I will skip. These are coming, that's not much of important, but these two are very, very important. Okay, this is max tokens and temperature. Do play around with after this session. Now let's go. I think this we can know. I will skip this because you know by using ChatGPT or Gemini, you can generate an image, you can generate an audio, you can generate a video. Nothing much. So this is just a basic one. So I want to go to the practical one. After this, I want to start the practical, so we'll understand more. Now this is the final one I want to talk about. RAG. You might have heard about what is RAG. Everybody talking about RAG. So this is where I will give the pointers for you to try it out. Now ChatGPT won't answer your syllabus or your company data, or if you are doing a small startup project, everything, it won't able to answer it. So one way to make it answer is just upload the PDF. You upload your entire textbook or your chapter, and you can start asking the question. At the back end, actually, what does when you upload entire PDF, right? It actually called something called RAG will happen behind the scenes. So when you upload the RAG, it creates something called embeddings. It just creates embeddings out of all the words and everything. It try to embed it. Creates what is embeddings? Nothing but it's a vector based in the three multiple dimension where just a related words will make very close together. Nothing else. You just make it very close so that you have a relevant context meaning will be stored in a one common place in a multidimensional space. When user asks a question, it try to match it. It's not a search like a keyword search where you do a like Google in a big Word PDF document where you search for LLM, it goes and search keyword LLM. No, it won't do that way. It does the semantic meaning. It does the close to the meaning try to get. That is why it is hallucinate. Why? Because you sometimes it even closes with the other very close to it also. So that's why you get might hallucinated output when you do the RAG. So that is the reason it won't the actual keyword search actually. So when you put a PDF, it creates a knowledge base that's called vector embedding inside. Then you can ask your question. What will happen? No, the ChatGPT doesn't know. Earlier it doesn't know your context, your syllabus or your company data. Now I am giving a question plus that pieces, the matching pieces actually. So especially it's like a library. It's just like a library. When I ask the question, it goes and pick the particular book or particular chapter and give that relevant documents to it. So that LLM now have a powerful that not only it has a LLM knowledge trained data, it has additional knowledge. Knowledge, then you'll get the answer correctly. In simple terms, if you have a PDF with one of the mathematics syllabus says integration or something, you added that integration syllabus, assume that LLM doesn't have the integration knowledge. For assume that actually not been trained. You're just adding that in the knowledge base and try to ask the question. Now it will matches the which question, which formula you asked, close matching, it goes and gives the context to it. Then it's able to answer perfectly because it has the what relevant information it is has. It will construct the proper language out because it already been trained how to construct in proper grammatical way, how to know the context. The context will be mix of pieces actually. It won't be one. It could be a one chapter, one paragraph from one chapter. It could be another chapter from another context. But you're able to stitch together. You're able to stitch it and able to give the answer. So that's why it's able to answer this PDF question when you give. We call retrieval augmented generation. Why? Retrieval is nothing but this phase, the lookup part. Retrieving. I am retrieving. Then I want to augment it, right? I want to augment all the retrieved documents, collect together and make it augment. And so this guy will augment it and then it generate. That's called RAG. I retrieving and augment is nothing but take the pieces and this and then make it ready. This is called augmented phase. And this is the generation phase. This is called RAG. You might have heard multiple times what is RAG. So there are multiple frameworks like LangChain and all the stuff you can try. I'll share the entire. You can try your own with your own data. So this is about RAG. So with this, Let me start with the one thing. So I just want to small switch I will do, context switch here. Back in days where I completed my BA in 2004. Okay, at that time no internet, nothing. At that time Python was not there. It was a Perl was the famous. Everybody was using Perl at that time. Any company scripting Perl. Now we are using Python, but earlier we were all using Python. So you guys are very lucky. We are not. We are unlucky at that time. So when I went to the job first time, I don't have internet. If any problem I want to solve, I cannot go and put any post. There's no Reddit or Stack Overflow at that time. So only way to solve a given problem is read the book. We will read the book like complete reference. Like I used to understand how the language work because there is no internet. Understand completely per how the syntax work, but per doesn't have all the problem, right? So if you go to the company, start working on a lot of challenges will come. So at that time we had something called another book we used to refer called cookbook. A cookbook is like a recipe where we have a lot of problem and question and answer. Where when our problem we try to match close to this, we try to match close to the book, and then we need to extract the how they did the syntax, and then we have to take the extraction, and then we used to implement in our company. Because see, nobody is no any person 100% he cannot do on his own. Either he should take with the help. Now people are taking with the AI like cursor, and we use cursor in our company. So we are now taking the help of cursor, but make life our easier. But earlier this was the case. We have to go to the book. You have to read two books. If I want C++, I want to have two books, one with C++, actual book and cookbook. All this together, we have to use manually, which a lot of time is to take. We have to search manually with the index and go to there and see if that fits, experiment, and then put it in the production. So this is what during our case. And your case now let me just switch bit, little bit. Let me come out here. Now you are guys very lucky. I'll show you some interesting one. So if you want to learn something called linear regression, right? Suppose say in a machine learning, there's something called linear regression. There's a first algorithm explains how exactly the machine model work. Suppose say you want to learn something. You can go to the YouTube, you will get something like this. Now let me pause it. Whether you do it or not, you get one way you can learn like this. You can understand what is linear regression. You can go through this. You can rewind. Afterwards, if I might have some question, here might have question. Okay, I have a question, but you can't ask anybody unless you want to ask someone. So now that is where they added a called ask. Click on the ask. Okay, now you can summarize the video. You can ask the question. What is suppose if any doubt in this particular where it is particular 21 minutes, you just type in. Type in at 21 minutes. It explains about p fit minus p min. You didn't understand. Can you explain? The AI will understand for you. Let's do that actually live. Let's do it and show you. So in the so you can just you can mean in the time as a timeline. What is it? 2106, right? 2106. I did not understand. Suppose I'm just giving an example. Understand what is P fit minus. Just see how easy make it. Everything is free for you. You can try it actually. This ask feature recently added around a month back, I guess, and it's free and for it is available in India and few countries only. So then can you explain? So I don't have to play grammar and everything. So it is able to it goes and reads the video. It does the RAG basically internally, and he explains exactly see the timings between this two segment of 2013. Between 2013 and this segment, actually, what exactly it explains me. And you can ask a follow-up question if you still if you have a problem. Actually, you can ask me, can you explain in? You can tell me I am a novice. I'm a novice, or I can have 10 years old guy. You can tell I'm a novice I'm a novice person. Can you explain in simple terms? See, simple terms. So this or you can use it for your college project or anything. If you're stuck, use your AI very easy, very freely. It's able to give you better things for Gemini. It clearly give multiple way what is our score. Everything will explains. Even if you don't, you can keep asking in short, linear, what is helps you to see everything. Will keep on asking. If you still doubt, keep asking until you learn something. Even how it is, see, is asking how it is in real life. So this is the inspiration actually. How this is used in real life. So it will give. So it will tell you see in medical research, forecasting house prices, predicting sales, environment studies. By this you can learn many things. Try to utilize this, but this ask only available for the educational video. Remember, it won't be available for if you go to any movie or any song video. This button will be disabled. This only for the any educational video. comes, you can summarize it. Even you can do the quiz. I tried this, actually it's very, very good. You can go there and do quiz me. You will try to quiz based on this video, you try to quiz. So this way you can understand more. Take your any of the college studies, anything, if you think any science or any commerce, whatever you are studying on, if you stuck something, watch the video here. If you don't have a time, ask him to summarize and do the quiz. You will learn anything. Like all is free of cost. I told about RAG. Just search for the RAG, watch one video, ask many question you want. So it's able to do it everything. See, it able to give the understanding. It asking me on quiz also. Plus answer to choose. I can choose, for example, roughly I will choose. Simply I say I will choose the wrong answer. Just I may be right. I don't know. Just for your showing, I just selected a C, and then let's see it will able to answer what is the correct answer. What it almost there. Let's break it down. Say it's wrong, and also explains me the answers very quickly, and also explains me at what time it is explained. You can click and go back to the particular video. See here. This kind of that's why I'm telling you guys are very lucky. We didn't have these features when long back in 2004 when I finished my degree. We had to struggle a lot at that time, and now we have everything available in free. You don't have to pay the course. Don't pay any of the course. Any of the course, don't pay and go. The certification is only for the namesake. So learn, understand the basic, learn the concept very well, be thorough with the concept. In the interview, that what we'll ask. Very few will ask. Oh, suppose say if you are going for AI, they will ask, "Oh, you can explain what is linearity." You should be able to explain it because now you understand exactly how it works. If you don't understand, ask question here. Do not need to pay money. Don't have to watch live classes. You don't spend any money. It's cost you zero actually to use it. AI is so free. Everything made free. You can learn anything actually. So that's what I want to say about this feature. You can use it to learn. So with this, that's why I'm telling you guys are lucky when compared to our generation, where you have to use something called 2 books. I have to buy each and every book whenever I want to learn. Then I moved into C. I bought a C book. I bought C cookbook. Then I moved to C++. Then I bought C++ cookbook and C book. And that's why I learned. Then Python came. Then went to the Python. I worked on Python. Then came Java. So this is what I want to share one resources. And coming to the one journey and tips very quick to wrap it up. So what I suggest first is, even before you go to ML, DL and Gen I, if you want to break into MNC, no one expects you to learn ML, DL at this stage. Unless you are doing in your BTech or course in ML, DL is fine. But if you are not in BTech, you're doing in computer science or electronics, highly recommend to top 2 is very, very important. DSA, data structure and algorithms, and lead code or any of the thing. You do it easy and medium. This is very, very important if you want to crack in the interview. And unless it is startup, nobody will ask you what is agent, what is agentic AI, what is RAG, LangChain. No, they won't ask you. We need only basics. You go to Amazon, you go to Azure, go to the, if you want to try it on Amazon company, or if you want to try it in Microsoft or FANG, any FANG company, the first 2 is very, very important. I'd highly recommend to concentrate on these 2. And for DSA, please don't use ChatGPT, any of the thing. Try to solve your lead code problems on your own. If you're not able to understand, you're really stuck, at that time you feel to use ChatGPT and explain. Then you will learn something. But don't use ChatGPT for any case. Don't try to code it. Try to code it by hand. Because why I'm telling is because I also will take the interview for AI engineering. I always ask you to share the screen and type it in a notepad. I know for if you want anything. That's the reason. Not only me, in any company, most of the company will ask you to write the code, not using any of the AI tool, because these are the basics. If you don't know what is addition, if you don't know what is subtraction, how do you expect you to work on matrix or matrix multiplication or integration? Any advanced mathematics topics, anything boils down to 2 things: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. All these 5. Without this basic calculation, we don't know what is addition. If you don't know multiplication, no point in using AI to learn how integration works. Exactly here happens here. So here DSA lead code is very, very important. Must you need to concentrate first. If you have time, if you're able to doing this, if you still have a time, feel free to explore these 2 books to learn ML, DL and Gen A. If you are already in BTech in doing in AML, it's not required. It's already in the topic also. So you're fine. Then if you still have a time, then do explore RAG, agents, what are agentic AI making in the market. In the current market, everybody is talking about agentic AI, agentic AI. So then you explore. And again, how do you explore this? Simple. One, directly go to YouTube, search agentic AI, see which video feels comfortable, then start asking question. One way. The second way is, I highly recommend this is second way if you want to really learn. The best free course is deeplearning.ai. Just go to deeplearning.ai. This is the best thing. So not deep learning, it's a deeplearning.ai. Sorry about that. Deeplearning.ai. Yes. So this is the no, this is deep learning legacy. This is the free. There is a paid and free course. Go to the short course. You don't see. I think you know he's the Andrew Ng. You know him very well. So he's the AI person. Is know the AI is got a Nobel Prize also. So here you go to the explore courses. Go to short courses which is free. Like see AI Python for beginners. These are all short courses are free. Go here. You will also get, if you go here, you can write the agent. If you want to write agents, click on the topic agent, building coding agent with tool execution. Everything is there. Everything is free. All the short is free. This is all paid. Let's skip this. You finish all the short course, whichever you feel interesting. And it has a free OpenAI key they will give right there itself, where you can execute line by line code on a sandbox. Everything is free. So this is the one I highly recommend it to you, because I also learned from here for my company we're working. If you want to learn about MCP servers, click here and go here and enroll for free and start learning it. And you will get a both. And if you go and start learning, see, is open the video. Not only it open the video, but also it will give you this one. Let me continue. It will also give you a small sandbox right after the video. You can see sample invoice processing. So you can directly see. Let me skip this. Let me see, after explanation, you will get directly here code also. See here. This live code will come here. Just you have to write this activity to finish. So it's loaded. See here. Can you see the left side? It is loaded here. So you don't need a Gemini API key here. You don't need. They will provide a key for free. Same thing if you want to try, you have to give the key and it will charge for you. And this is very, very beautiful. This deep learning AI we made. You can play around freely and unlimitedly. Unlimitedly, you can try it. Say I can run, I can see the video here, what is happening. Same thing I can try it here. Everything available, you guys, for free. You can learn anything today. Don't pay single rupees, what I want to say. And you can learn your own phase. This is the addition if you want to learn something. This is the best way to way. This is the best one to get with free. All the shorts are free. Short courses are free. You'll get a certificate, add it in LinkedIn, nothing wrong. And the third thing I want to tell him, suppose if you've already done your GB or BTech and still looking for a job while doing, in the meantime, what you can do is you can go to GitHub any project. Let's make me LangChain or something. Let me search for any of the, say LangChain. Let me do LangChain, for example. Pick any project with your language, with your interest. Okay, with your interest, it is not mandatory. Go there. Try to go to solve these issues. Try to solve this issue. There is something called beginner friendly. It will be sort of beginner friendly. You can search for a beginner to start with and try to solve these issues or try to contribute this open source. That time you'll get busy, and also you can add this in your LinkedIn profile also as a contributor. Sorry. Anyone? Any questions?
No.
No, okay. Somebody was saying, sorry. Okay. So here, if we go, then we'll get a first something called, we'll get a first or something. You can search actually for a type here. Something called, they will, okay, somehow it is not coming here. But there is something, okay, label. A label, there'll be first people, like they go for first to trying, the people who are trying for the first time, there will be on label actually. So this for good for the first time use, or like a good first, good first issue. So just sort it with label. That means the first, see, this is the one we have now, good first issue. So if you're trying the for first time, this you can able to, somebody will label this. So you can click here, understand the problem, try to replicate it and try to fix this. There's a contribution guide, everything. This way, your name will come under the contributor. So this will add your most value. Once you do five community pull request, right? If you're able to expect that, then you'll get your name as a contributor. You can add even a LinkedIn, your resume. I am a contributor for this LangChain. You will get a more visibility, and you will be you'll stand out of the crowd. You'll pick up the crowd when you see the resume. So a problem in the current industries, we see there's a lot of demand. Still, there's a lot of demand. The lot supplies also is there, but problem is that we're not getting proper talent. Because whenever I interview, I'm pretty frankly, I'm telling, whenever I ask him to write, open a notepad, that doesn't know how to write a for loop. Because everybody says there is a chat, no, why should I learn for loop? Why should I write the coding? Please don't never make the mistake. You try to do the basic coding. Try understand one language, any one language, Python, C. Understand fully. Assume there is no ChatGPT, there is no nothing, there's no Copilot. Remove Copilot or disable the Copilot if you're using Visual Studio or something, and try to code it manually. It's okay to fail and way to pass. You use Notepad, sorry, Jupyter Notebook, anything if you want to try. Don't try to use any of the AI features. You definitely are going to use once you join to the company. But we need a people who knows at least how to code basic coding. For this, you can take a help of JTP if you want to solve the issue, no problem. But for learning, please don't use any of the AI tool to do it. So that is the reason I want to share one thing. You DSA, if you could do the complete, do the DSA, do the lead code. In the interviewer, many of the interviewer will never ask you to use the JTP. You have to open the notepad. You have to solve the problem. Or if you're in-person interview, we'll give a sheet of paper. You have to write the code. Be ready to take pen and paper and be ready to write the code. So that is the one thing I want to share with this. And this is what I'm talking about tokenizer. You can type out this. Just search for OpenAI tokenizer where you can type anything and it will show the tokens here. See, it shows all the tokens here. And the number, token ID. This is where I take a snapshot and showed you. This if you want to play around the tokenizer, different token. I think all the three are same looks like here. There is no change. But if they change the model, vocabulary, then it will be changed. So this one and also I wanted then this book I really recommend if you were really struggling to this. You can use a YouTube. If you don't want to pay for these two books, it's perfectly fine. Go to this YouTube, Josh Stammer, and he has excellent video. Whatever there in the book is exactly in the YouTube video. We just made a book actually. Whatever is as a YouTube, exactly made a book. So either way, if you want to read books, pick these two books up. Now, if I don't want to read the book, I want to do it free. Feel free to go subscribe to his channel and learn everything, transformer model, everything explained very beautifully in simple English. I highly recommend this book, or go to his channel and try to read machine learning. He made a clear playlist for machine learning, deep learning, what is AI, what is transformer model, what is LSTM, everything you can learn from him. I learned many things from him. So this I recommend. And then coming to last part, agents. Everybody talking about agent AI. If you have real time after doing all this thing, next option is you can play around with QAI, Agno, Strands, your choice. These are the agentic framework. Within few lines of code, you can create multiple agents, talk to each other, you can automate. You can do a fun project, participate in hackathons. There are a lot of hackathons is going on for that. So participate that. That's where you will learn a lot. After for all this, then you go to this step. So that's why go step by step. Ensure these three are very critical for your job. Finish this, then go to the RAG and agent AI, then go to LangChain or LangGraph or A-Stack. You can use Llama Index or DSP. Any of the framework used. Many people use LangChain. I think there's a spelling mistake here. It's a LangChain. There are multiple framework. You can choose whichever framework you want, but this is very easy to learn. Then you use any of the agentic framework. Even LangGraph is also one of the agentic framework. You can use that. Or you can use Strands within 3-4 lines code is from Amazon. Agno, 3 lines of code, you can start building an agent. So this is what I want to share. But please remember, the first 2 is important. Don't ever skip it. This is your base. You just take your food and water. And air, or air, food and water, air is this. So all your luxury comes below. You're owning a house, you're owning a car, this all comes here. So I know I don't want this, I directly go here. That is the problem that currently we are facing in industry. That is the problem we are facing here. So it's good to participate in hackathon. Feel free to participate in hackathon. In the meantime, don't forget the basic things you need. Just do one solve. Just try to solve one problem per day. Spend 5-10 minutes every day. 5-10 minutes, just solve 1 or 2. And also DSA, try to solve 1 or 2 problems. And then you move this below. Of course, you can skip this completely. ML, DL, and GenAI, you can skip this whole thing. You can directly start here. But okay for hackathon and everything will work. But come to the interview, we'll ask the very, very basic thing. We never ask you to write any of the agent code unless it's a startup. Startup won't care. Usually, startup only cares about just I know some agent framework, just take it in. So for startup, it work. It work the other way. In a startup, nobody will ask DSA, nobody will lead code, nobody will ask this first three. It goes from below to it's not top to bottom, it's bottom to top. But if you're planning for MNC, a well-established company, if you want a secure, or if you want like Amazon, or if you want a FANG company, go from top to bottom. No, I want to go with the startup. I don't want to do LASA. Then go with the bottom up. But it really will be a problem. I'm not telling not to go to startup. Even if you go with the startup, please, when you find time, please go from top to bottom also. Because this is the basic what I covered. Without DSA, without lead code coding, you can't do ML, DL, and GenAI. That's what I'm trying to say here. The priority. With that, then you can run what is RAG, what is end, then you can go this way. It's like step by step, I'm telling. You don't have to master all the DSA, all the lead code. At least so the basic part, and then go to the MLD and GenAI. This is a better approach. What you do. So this is what I want to share the tips. And my okay, we can talk about journey. I just started with, as I told, Python. Then I moved into C. Then I C++. For 18 years, I worked on C++ and Java. After 18 years, after when ChatGPT came 4 years back, I moved into generative AI. But I studied the other way. But although I learned ML and DL, I forgot it 2 years back. I did a course in Coursera, but I forgot it because I didn't have a chance to apply. Then I went to the Gen AI because I know programming, I know the software engineering. It was easy to work on RAG and agents. But I was the ML and DL. Then because of interest, because I good to know ML and DL, that's why I came back to reverse way. Then do the basic stats and everything completed, and then I did ML and then I did DL, so that I can strongly in the foundation also. So you can go the other way because since I done all the DSA lead coding long back and also doing 18 years I was coding and architecting all those things, it's for easy me towards to Gen AI. It's very easy tight for me to understand this without even understanding what is ML and DL. I had a fair knowledge but not in depth. Then I went read these 2 books. Then did the ML and DL. I did the course also, and also did work. I tried to experiment with Kaggle competition. I started participating. Anyway, hackathon I participated. I mastered this ML DL also. So that now I understood completely how it works. It's good to know ML and DL. But also it's optional. Some people say that's optional. We just as an engineer, we don't need this thing is perfectly fine. That's how that argument is also true. I'm not arguing with them. Some people you can engineer. If you want to only engineering, you need a software engineering. That is very much important. That's enough. We don't need ML and DL background, but it is good to have ML DL. Sometimes you have to mix match based on the problem in future, not in the beginning stage, but in the future. So that's also should be fine. I think this all I wanted to have for the day to share. I think we're almost correctly on time. So now we can open to questions for anything. This is my LinkedIn. You can for me ask any question if you have any doubt in that. So this was the basic I want to, or did everything is a basic only. So okay, one thing final I want to show before I going for open up for question. I will show that this one, right? Google AI Studio, did I have that here? So I'll just usually I use Google AI Studio. ChatGPT also is fine. So if you go to Google AI Studio, right? So this is where I'm talking about the temperatures here. This is what I'm talking about, temperature. So currently I'm in Nano Banana. So let me close to Flash. Some is cheaper. And if you see the Flash, can you see here? Can you see the token cost? How much it will cost here? This is what I'm talking about, token for 1 million. So that's why you have to pay close attention. It is free here if you do here. But if you use API key as a programmatic, right? Then you need to see this one. The second thing I want to show, forgot to mention, system instruction. So this is where it is exactly when do programming the token cost here. This is nothing but I can give the instruction saying that the style I want. So I will just translate to, for example, say French. So this is my system prompt. Okay, it has been hidden. This is my system. Okay, let me see how to save it. Or title. Okay. French, I'll just make French. So this is my system prompt. Okay, saved. Close. So my system prompt is already ready. Now I won't do anything. I simply mention, how are you? So now what it will do, it actually translate here. Because I'm telling the translate to French. So it actually, see, it translated to French. So I never told here what to do it. So this is cost to input token now. My input token will be translated to French plus this input. So why I'm talking about this, if you want to do a RAG application, this prompt is very, very important. You need to put in the coding. Let me do the get source. So this is how the source code looks. See, I'm taking the context here. See, I'm telling the model, I'm telling the user is giving the input is here, and also I need a context. See, here is see the tool system instructions it is giving here. So we need this for the RAG actually, and temperature should be set to 0. And here let me see temperature set to 1. I think you need to set to 0. So if you want to do the coding like this, where I need a key, this will get charged you. If you try to copy this code and try to run in Google Colab, everything, you have to provide a key, and this will charge you based on the token. Be careful. Remember, they're going to charge, you won't be free. This time I'm talking about a temperature, 0 and 1. You try play around this and see. And this is the system prompt. There we can control how the user want. It automatically converted to French because I told you to translate to French instruction. I think this is what I want to cover, tokenizer linear regression and ask feature. And this is the one I want to cover. Yeah, this is what I want to cover. This was the contribution part. So I think by this, I think we'll do the question and answers. So I'll stop sharing so you can have any question or any answer, and feel free to ping anytime. I mean, so LinkedIn, I will be help you. So with this, I
Hello,
can
sir.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, can you tell something about the context window? Because, like during making those agentic things, sometimes face issues about the big context window or like small context window.
Correct, exactly. Okay, that's good question. Okay, let me share my screen then. For the context one, see the problem with the context, I'll tell you. So which agentic, let's say like Agno, let's go to the Agno. So here you need to specify the context one. Let's see the Agno framework. Okay, I should have gone there. This is the one of fastly, let's go direct to the GitHub. So this is the one of the fast quickly you can build. If you see the example with few lines, I can do that here. So here there are two things you have to take. Now, in
So
case
I
of
think
the
screen
context,
is not
right?
visible.
Oh, I think I not shared the screen. Sorry. Sorry, forgot to share the screen. Okay, I'm sharing now. Thanks for the pointing. I hope you know it visible now.
Yes.
Okay. So what I did, I went to the Agno. I just searched for Google search Agno. I just did a AGNO, one of the framework I took, just for example. Look, I went to the GitHub directly. So a sample code is here. Now this is a sample code. This is going for SQLite DB. It has a Cloud Sonnet model, and actually it is using the MCP server for these tools. And to here, we need to what you have to do for the context when you're going out. There are two things. One, number of retries you can for the agentic. Then multiple agent. See, the thing is, agent is it will automatically goes and based on your prompt, it goes and try multiple times. Reason it will does. So that's why you'll get context out of window and it goes multiple one. So one thing you need to take the prompt should be proper. So agent prompt, what I mean to say point is you have to give the instruction. Agent instruction should be very clear exactly what to do. Then number of prompts can be reduced one way. Let me see where is the agent prompt. What is the one way of achieving it? The second thing is to do out of the prompt, one you exactly tell how many retries it want to do. Clearly tell to the agent that I want to do only to try with 2 or 3 times only. Otherwise fail safe. Once it's failed, you have to come back to the user. Don't keep trying it. So your context keep on going because each agent will talk. If you have 2 or 5 agents, they're all talking together. Obviously, each will too many contexts which will happen and it's going on. So that depends upon your agent designing patterns. I told you that all depends upon your software principle. So if you search for agent design, follow this actually. Agent design patterns. See agent design. You follow these patterns. So there are some agent design patterns to follow. There are multiple patterns. So you need to follow these patterns actually. You need to learn this. Before even implementing, you need to understand the pattern, do the words, try to solve. You have to architect the thing. You have to design the thing. One thing. What design should be proper, number one. Second, make your instruction for each agent. See, if you see this complete agent, let's assume, let's take this a very good example. Let me increase the screen. So let's assume this one. Okay, let's see you're doing this completely one. That means entire design, you're doing a waterfall model, we have CTO, where everything you're modeling this. Say there is a programmer, there's a programmer CTO. Now this is a very complex one. There are too many agents, right? So it will go too many contexts will out of there are many chances are there to go. So if you want to avoid that, for this each CTO, CO, your prompt should be, the task given prompt should be very, very clear and very, very limited. It has to have a limited solution, not go to that one is the prompt. It should be very, very clear what this guy has to do. what program has to do, what it has to do, number one thing. Second, number of tries it has to do. Number of tries. It will go talk with tester and coming back. That you need to control. Number two. Third, you can have the prompt maximum prompt, how much it can have maximum. You summarize it. You summarize because it has to have a memory, right? What is happening? So when a number of tokens is increased, you summarize and keep it. Meaning, suppose say you try to do one code, it failed. Tester got failed. It go back to again the programmer. Now if one tester, then this agent will have the previous what he code, the tester. Then suppose say it again made a mistake. Again it did a corrected and tester went to the tester. Tester again for another bug. So again the agent comes to here. Now you have four in this memory. It has the original first program, what tester failed, one second, one third. Now context is growing increasingly. For that, what you do, you have to summarize and make the small context. Meaning, all the four you summarize, compress it, and make a simple summary here. You have a summary one. Then you go to the tester and go back. The agent know the summary previously what happened, not entire data. It's called short term. We call it short term memory. Okay, if you want long term memory, put it on the database. But again, you have to summarize and keep it in the database. That's why you can, one way of you can use a prompt, you can compress the prompt. That is the one way. The second one, something called Tycoon came. If you remember Tycoon, there's something called a Tycoon came to reduce the Tycoon, I think. JSON, wait, let me. JSON versus Tycoon or Toon. JSON versus Toon. So this is a new thing came. Don't use JSON, use Toon. That also will help you to compress your this one. So it's very boy versus Toon. Let's see. This is a JSON versus Toon. Something came that actually reduces the complex very thing. This is how it looks. JSON looks like this. See, now that is see number of tokens is reduced. Let's quickly check now. How many tokens? Let's do practically. So if you entire output is going like this, let's go to tokenizer. And then let me put this. So it has 44 tokens. Correct? Now let's go back here. Let's use this. And go back here. Let's say 44. Now let's say how much it is. Say 24. 24, 44. Almost 50% token you are reducing it. This is another method you can use for agent equal. So your context length won't go large and you can also save your cost. So again, also design patterns also important. That's why the first basic thing for agent, you need to understand what is software engineering, what is software design patterns, what are microservice design patterns. Without that, you cannot design agent at all. You need to understand the microservice first. Each one is a microservice. If you don't know microservices, then you have to understand what is actually microservices, how it is. You have to understand first that, then you can come to the agent one. It's all basic software design patterns or architectural design patterns, nothing else. So that everything will, if you do all this properly, you do a well architected thing, well designed, then your token can be reduced. The problem is that everybody will starting coding right away without even designing. That is where everybody gets. In hackathon is fine. You don't have a time, it's fine. But you want to do a real project, you have to first design that coding should be at the end, not at the beginning. You should not code a single line of code without collecting all this data. So that's what SDLC. So learn SDLC first. First learn what is SDLC. So without that, you can't do anything. First understand what is SDLC. So you have to go with this, not by building. Not by building. Whenever hackathon comes, we'll go directly to building. That's fine for hackathon because we don't have a time. That is the problem. Without designing, without defining, without planning this through, if you start building, it won't work out. So I hope that answers your question or any other you want to ask.
Yeah, it was a great explanation.
Yeah, that's the value people actually use problem. So go with the step by step. Actually, just want to know who is speaking. Okay, just go with the step by step. Then you will learn actually completely. Go with one step back, but don't start coding. Don't ever start coding. First, do a plan. You don't have to be completely mastered. Go to YouTube, ask quickly, sir. Quickly, just search for design patterns or what is that. You just search and understand quickly at a very high level, and then come back to your agentic design. So, any questions?
Sir, while going through your LinkedIn, I saw some projects like Bhagavad Gita GPT or Bible GPT.
That long back.
So could you tell a little about how they are different from general chat GPT, or what exactly
Yes, good question.
means they?
Good question. Earlier, this was done the project very long back, 3 8 years back. At that time, JGP is not that much proper work when you do for Bhagavad Gita question if I asked, or a Bible is not able to answer very well. One thing. Second, I want to learn RAG. At that time, I was new. 4 years back, I was very, very new to the RAG. I want to showcase my project, what I'm doing. So what I did, I took the Bhagavad Gita PDF and try to get a RAG and play around with and put it on my Hugging Face. I put on that everything on my Hugging Face actually, and then so that I can showcase my project. One, that's the first thing. Second, also it is good to understand actually how it works, RAG works internally. What is top K, what is TP. Then same thing once then I moved into the same thing I did for in my office project. That's why I did the Bhagavad Gita long back one. Now anyway, ChatGPT will answer perfectly well than what I did. Whatever RAG I did, I put it in source code, everything in my Hugging Face also. It's available in my Hugging Face. That's why I did as a project that one. I need to remove it, but I kept it. I think I forgot to remove that. It was a long project. I kept it as it is. So it's available in my Hugging Face. That's why I did. It's a 4 years old project. You see that now it's not required because your ChatGPT is trained on that data accurately. But it's good if you want to try to do the same thing. If you want to learn, right, you can try it and see. Even though it is good, but that is the way you can learn something, do practical, make your hands dirty. So it's good to try it out with Bhagavad Gita and try to see how it able to extract the verses. We try it out with LangChain or LangGraph or Llama Index, anything.
Does the project include any kind of fine tuning? Like I saw there is a
No,
Mistral
no,
7 billion model you used. So
no, no, no,
did
no,
you?
no. No, not 20. Not 20. Say RAG. The model I use Mistral because at that time we don't have any latest models like Gemma models or Llama models. Llama was not good at that time during those days. The Mistral was top model at that time. I didn't do any fine tuning for this. I just create a RAG, a vector DB. I use Chroma and then moved to Quadrant, created a RAG out of it, and then we need LLM, right? In my slide I mentioned LLM, correct? For
Yes, sir.
the generating the data. For that I use Mistral. No fine tuning, nothing. Just for the generating the data. For augmentation and everything, I use LangChain plus it's a Llama Index, not LangChain. I use Llama Index. Llama Index plus Quadrant vector DB.
Okay, sir, understood.
So any questions, any other? Let me see in the chat any other questions. No, at least in the chat I don't see any. Okay. Actually, I'm from first year in the ALMS stream. So just for what the question was. I want to read from the beginning. Let me see any question in the chat. Did I miss? From the beginning, if I go, let me see. Okay, the first question is generative AI and agentic AI are part of LS card. Yeah, see, okay, that's a good question. The generative AI and agentic AI are part of AML. So the agent, okay, that I should have put it on one slide actually. So generative AI, so see, both are generative AI only. Earlier, if you suppose that there is no agentic one. Earlier, what I used to do is suppose say if I asked to write a one Python function or something, say for example, simple as snake game. I used to ask you to write a snake game. It used to generate a code. I used to copy paste on my Python code and try to execute it. Then you'll get some error. Then I have to copy and again ask the ChatGPT a follow-up question saying that this is what I got the error. Then it used to get correct. Again it gave to my other code, some corrected code. Again I had to copy. Again I pasted, and then if everything works, is fine. Now instead of manually going back and forth, right? That is I'm doing manually. Now agent, what will do it now? Now agent, I will have create section what I show like tester and a programmer. So we are going to define client and write a snake game. So I have one agent would actually do the snake game calling LLM. Then I create one more agent to test the changes. Instead of me manually testing, I will create going to one more agent that will go to spawning a small sandbox that will execute the code. And whenever it finds the error, it will automatically give the feedback to the programmer agent. I have two agents now, one tester, one programmer agent. Then programmer agent will see the error. Again, it was back as LLM only, same LLM. But instead of me as a human doing this, all this boring task of copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, the two agents started communicating and doing it. Ultimately, at the behind the scenes, it's simple RAG and LLM only. But we have a small piece of agent to together that's called agentic AI. In my slide, I showed it end to end. That many two. There's a C2 agent, there is a programmer agent, there's a tester agent, there's a planner agent, architect agent. Those are like a small specific tasks they're doing together in the system to solve the particular problem. So, in your question, both are part of A and ML only. Yes, it's correct, 100% true. Then let's me so it's really helpful for us. Who are the okay? That's fine. Any other questions? I'm saying. Because sorry, I was sharing the screen, I'm not seeing that screen, that's why I'm not going through. Okay, you will say that directly jumping to LLM, GenAI or framework like LangChain as a student without doing MML is relevant to PO of industry. Yeah, for a job entry, yes, perfectly fine. If you're going with the ML and everything, definitely they'll ask the basic. In my interview also, I changed from MSG Global, so they asked me questions on ML and DL also, because without ML and DL, GenAI won't work. That's why I told you, right? It's like a addition and subtraction of M and ML. In the industry, I'm telling, in the industry. But again, for a startup, that is not a mandatory. If you're looking for exactly AI job in scope, they clearly mention, usually they will mention as ML and DL. They do have a question because at least you know basics, how actually AI works, what ML works. Then you'll understand, which I explained in the beginning, right? So better to learn, at least take the two. That's enough for interview. If you're looking for the interview, that 2 books which I referred is perfectly fine. You go to that, there's more than enough actually. If you don't want to buy the book, perfectly fine. Watch this YouTube video. What is about one, 2 or 3 algorithm you learn, linear regression, logistic regression. Just learn that, and basic statistics is good to know. It's not but too complex. Then you go with the framework. For point of industry, yes, it is 100% required. If I am interviewing for AI engineer, I'll definitely will ask for the programming, and then I'll ask for the ML and DL. Then I will ask about the RAG and what exactly required, because we do need that knowledge. So that's about Rajbi. I hope I answered your question. Next, okay, opportunity fine. I'll skip it. Any other question? Let's see is the opportunity. After doing the program, okay, after doing the Python after doing programming in Python, can I directly do GenAI? Yes, we can do. We can create a, that's what I did. I told, right? That's what I did. 12 years back, I did ML and DL. I actually forgot it after certificate because I didn't get a chance to work on those. After Python also I revised, then we went directly to the RAG first, and then framework I understood, then went to agents, then agents, correct, then agentic AI. Exactly. You can do that. Perfectly fine. You can do it. But it's good to have software engineering skills actually. You can do. Yes, generally is not able to manage things. So business, that is why many companies, because of its inaccurate and everything, we are not doing fully AITIC in finance and healthcare domain. We do this for the customer chatbot normally. You go to any chatbot like Indigo Plane or Make My Trip, anything, the first initially a chatbot will come. You try to answer with based on the internal RAG only. So that's why sometimes it won't be accurate. It's okay to give a wrong answer there. There's nothing problem. Anyway, there's a chance to it to talk with the human agent, to call the first service. So those cases, yes, they automated. A lot of time is saved because 24 hours availability is there. But still that can't replace human. Completely they can't replace a human. So that because you're going to hallucinate. But in the business where critical like banking sector, finance sector, coming to that, where strict policy, we're not going to use any of the AI. It really is a very limited amount. We use as a guidance, but not 100% we are not using. We do use for the basic thing quickly for searching the things or something to document with citation. We do have a citation, means it shows exactly from where exactly the document, which page number it is coming. Then we'll cross check actually. We won't trust the blindly what AI is generated in healthcare and finance. I hope that answers your question. Again, first year ML streams. So just for a curiosity, okay. Okay, fine. That is okay. There's no question. Should I feel okay? So any other question? What should be the first step for a complete beginner to start with journey to the world of ML? That's good. Very good question. So if you're complete beginning the AI, I highly recommend, I'll put in the chat also, the StartQuest YouTube channel. That a book I recommend, right? That is really, I highly recommend. Use that YouTube channel. It's really good. Subscribe to the channel from the Jones Timer. 1 second. I will just I will just give the link. You subscribe. So you can start from there. And also deep learning.ai, which already shown for a complete. But if you don't want to ML and we want to jump directly to GenAI, then use a deep learning.ai. So that is the best way to start. Start from the deep learning data. There's a basics course. Even search for the course which has the generative AI. Search for generative AI which has the beginning. There you will learn. Even I learned from that. To be frank, I learned from that. So I'll share the YouTube channel. So this is the first you start. If you want to go with the in-depth like ML and DL and everything, you better use that YouTube channel. That is the best one. If you don't want to buy the book, if not to look buy the book, I'll give the YouTube channel. Start Quest. It says Start Quest. Okay, yeah, I got it. Let me share the channel name. Complete channel. I'm sharing it. Go with the playlist. It clearly explains linear expression and everything. It explains, even including the Gen AI also. But this again is optional, but is good to go if you want to go into depth. But start with deep learning.ai. Let's see any. I'll go with it. Next is what's the first step? That is okay. Understood. Okay. Next is the theoretical knowledge of ML and DL enough for the interview, or should I do? Okay, that is a good question. See, for the interview, it depends upon the which company actually. In case of our MSG, we are into the application. I don't ask exactly how linear regression everything work. At least you should be able to know at high level what the difference between what linear regression is, when do you use decision trees, a basic level. And again, depends upon the which company you're looking for, their job description. Some company require both ML and also Gen AI work together. For those we're looking for data scientists and those team as an ML engineer, you have to go inside it. You have to go inside and understand that. So that's why it depends upon case by case basis for the interview. So it is always nothing wrong to learn ML and DL when I find the time. Be prepared everything. In simple words, just be prepared. The 2 books and YouTube channel is very, very easy. It's very easy. It will be very difficult. Just keep asking the question. Use ask button. Try to learn. Initially, it might be difficult. Even I find very, very difficult. The stats and everything I forgotten. At least you guys are students, but for me, 20 years back, I studied. It was very difficult for me to go back, understand integration, differentiation, do matrix. Thanks to that YouTube channel, actually, I learned many things. It was very tough for me because after 20 years of gap, it's very difficult for me to understand those things. For you guys, since you're already just 12th, you finished by around 4 years. 2 years back, you 12th, for you guys, easy to pick up. You are in the better position and better tools here. You better to learn the basics. Very good. It will be useful. Coming to Andrew NG YouTube lectures. Yeah, sure. Even in fact, I did Andrew NG YouTube channel, which now is free. Again, you guys are lucky, but I have to pay. I paid 2,300 to the course in Coursera for the same ML from Andrew NG, but he made it as free now. 12 years back, it was not free. It was not free. Of course, you can go. Andrew NG's good thing is he went to the mathematics in depth, and he never used Python. Really, I appreciate that actually. So you learn machine learning in depth. If you want to become a data scientist, okay, one more thing. If you want to become a data scientist, you have to go with Andrew NG and the Python and everything. We have to go, and because that is where we want to become data scientist. Job is to train the ML model and not the deploy part. They will train all the ML. They want to understand integration. They should understand what is stats. They want to understand about the business requirement, and based on the business, they have to clean the data. All those things, data engineering part, they will do, and they will train the model. There's something called ML engineers. So their job, they won't train. They not require Andrew NG. That kind of integration thing is not required. They will work on ML flow. Or called machine learning ops, we call it, DevOps, where they'll take the model from the data scientist and they will deploy it. So for those people, doesn't have to understand what is linear regression is. They won't ask the question. They will ask the question: what is ML flow? What is the pipeline? Or how NVIDIA, or how much memory RAM it takes for this running the model. So look for the platform. So you have to concentrate on that area. The 2 area. There's something called ML engineers. There's something called data scientist. So you decide which area you are targeting on. If you want to become a data scientist, before college is good to know everyone. That's why they recommend Andrew NG. You do that and then go to Stats Quest. Stats Quest is nothing but they won't use the integration part much. You would learn in Python programming. Your Andrew NG course is on full on integration. Yeah, math. If I remember correctly, I think MATLAB. It does everything in MATLAB. So what are the job opportunities available in the current market with the skills of? There are a lot actually. It's very, very lot. But getting the candidate is very problem. Very, very problem. We're not finding is very, very difficult because people know agentic AI and everything using, but when ask us to write in just using a notepad, they struggle to write a single program. We need as I told, we need the people who know the programming and everything. But still people not able to fill. You can search in any of the LinkedIn A and ML, we see a lot of openings still. Why that is not getting filled? Because this is the main reason. What the industry is looking, what currently students is not matching. But 4 years back, not the case. Why? Because there was no ChatGPT. There was no Copilot. So everyone else used to do the programming, everyone do the assignment. Now, very shocking to see many. I'm sorry to say that many of my neighbors also I see the people they use ChatGPT and did the project, and they explain the interview, not able to explain it. So that is a very pain point. Please don't try to do it. You try to do your college project your own with your own effort, and that will give a better fruitful result at the end. Please take the help. I'm not telling to ban ChatGPT completely. Do take some help when you got stuck. When you got, because we don't have anybody at that time. We refer the books, no internet. We had a Google, but no use. We didn't have Stack Overflow. We struggled a lot to do a project. Just a simple project in Java, we struggled for 6 months to get the project done. No help, nothing. Some seniors used to help. We used to take from the senior people to help for the project. But now you have ChatGPT. Use it for your help as a helper only, not to give all 100% work to ChatGPT. Don't do that. It's okay to give 5%, 10%, but at the same time, whatever the ChatGPT generate, please understand it. So that when you can go to the interview, you can tell them, yes, I did use 10% of ChatGPT to take the help, but everything is done my own with my own knowledge, with my own experience. That gives a positive impact for the interviewer also. And also you're able to face the interviewer confidently without struggling. So use it for your learning purpose, not for your, okay, for fun project, you can use it. If you want to do some fun project, everything, do the vibe coding. But don't do the vibe coding for your college project or your project which you are doing it. That's the industry is looking on. So any other question do you? I think I shared this too. Did I miss anything? I think okay. Sure, no problem. Welcome, no problem. Anytime if I still don't, anytime when I'm free, I will feel free to ping me on my LinkedIn. I will definitely respond whenever I find time. Any doubt on anything. I can recommend multiple books. I'm not coming it in the mind. There are a lot of books out there. Usually I read a lot of books. There's a good way. One of advantage of reading the books that they will share their experience. They will share 10, 12 years experience in the book. So I have a habit of reading the book. That's very good actually, where they will exactly explain. Do this. If you do this, this is what will get a problem. We face this problem. Hence, I did this. So you don't have to repeat the same problem. Even I read almost after going to AI, I read 7 books I completed. That experience made me in my company not to repeat the mistake. I saved a lot of time. Why? Because some company XX people also tried this particular solution. It didn't work for this particular problem which is faced. So I didn't have to try directly. So that is the experience share happens only in the book. When in relay or Manning publication or packet, all these people will share their experience. So those people, Google area, Amazon people, those right, with the author, right, go with the author. We actually they share their experience. Their 15 years, 10 years, have been single book that will give a lot of knowledge for you. That you won't get in ChatGPT. You never get in ChatGPT that knowledge. It gives the solution, but you won't give the experience. If you really want the experience, start reading the books actually. If you want to learn some software, microservice design pattern, everything, buy book or do anything if you get from PDF, everything, and read the book. That knowledge is very, very good. That is easy to crack the interview. Or even after cracking the interview, you will be in the probation period for 6 months. If you're not done well, they're going to remove you. Definitely, they will fire you. Remember, getting the job is the first one. That doesn't mean your victory. They will see 6 months close observation. Every senior will be watching you, how you solve the particular problem. If you're not able to solve the problem, then either they file within 6 months, or they will after 6 months they won't make the permanent employee. Remember, getting that if you're not aware, after as soon as you get the job, you have 6 months probation period. Means you are not be 100% employee of the company. They can fire you anytime in 6 months if you not perform well. So that's why not only cracking the interview, also you should be ready to face. For that, you have to face an hackathon, contribute in GitHub, and do the project your one. That's more than enough. Do all your assignments, on your own. We do the group discussion within friends. It's not a problem, but don't take much help of the GTP unless it's really critical, not able to solve. I really need help. Do take and understand. Do take the help and understand why it is that actually. So any question?
I think all the doubts have been cleared.
Okay, that's good. Anything they can ping me anytime, offline, not a problem. They can ping me.
Thank you very much, sir, for this amazing session.
Sure, welcome. Thanks for giving the opportunity. Thanks for the.